Eric Muather with muather.com. Let's take a look at the backtest examples here. And again, just came through this one. I just recorded the previous video on the series, and here we can see another example. So we're just gonna go keep this one short, and we're gonna go take a look at some of the backtest areas where the stock did give us some type of a pullback of the highs. Remember, this is a chart going back to 1990, monthly chart, and we can see here again, just gonna go through this quickly as an example. Here we see that the backtest did take place, and rejection again at 69.1. Boy, do we see this all the time. Take a look at the highs there, okay, and then take a look also at the next high here. So there was a failure and a backtest of the same line, which gave us that high. And the one thing here I would like to point out, if you take a look at this shape here, it seems something, or it is something similar to this. It is above 69.1 and back below. So that by itself is uniform activity rejection at 69.1. That right there is uniform activity rejection for the highs there. Let's take a look at the next high. Take the lows, extend it out. So here in early 06, it hit that line on a backtest. Remember, this was a failure point previously on the RSI trend line. Now coming back to backtest. Now this gave us this high right here. Remember what I talked about previously, because the stock never went below 50, there is a chance they tend to actually bounce. So just keep that in mind, that yes, you did get a pullback of some sort. So you're talking about a pullback from $40 to about $30. So that's a 30% pullback or 33% pullback. It might seem shallow, but it was relatively, it's 25% pullback right there. $10 off 40 is 25% pullback. And one thing, let me point this out right now here, is you see this area here, this support level. So let me change colors here so we can keep it looking nice. I'm talking about, trying to find a color I haven't used. This period here, this support, that support so happens to be this level here. That support happens to be at about 61.8. So not only did the stock not go to 50, where it could find support and make new highs, this one stopped exactly at about 61.8, and that was good enough. So you get a resistance here on a backtest, comes here, hits that level around 61.8, starts coiling higher, generally means you're going to new highs, and you did. Okay, again, so this video is about backtest. Let's take a look at the current market environment. We had a trend line break here, and since then, if we extend that line on the RSI, we've actually hit this level once before here for the actual highs right there. And this is uniform action above the blue line back below it, and recently we hit that line with uniform activity. We hit that line and pull back. Also seems to be rejection at 69.1, and that rejection is with uniform activity, giving us the highs here in the higher 50s. So right now, depending on whether it can find support either at 61.8 or at 50, there might be an attempt to eventually break out to new highs. But we also have to be vigilant, because if it fails to bounce at 61.8, fails to bounce at 50, chances are this is going to be a major high. And again, just quickly here, take a look at how the stock responds when it's generally above 50. You tend to have a good environment for the most part, probing higher levels. Same thing during this period here. In fact, we can go all this period. Generally either stable, sideways, but not down. It does tend to react well. And also other periods here when generally the stock is below long-term RSI levels of 50 here, you tend to have these down periods. And over the last couple of months during this period here, and recently we seem to have changed direction. Generally speaking, we are trading above 50. So those types of understanding generally what the big climate or the big sentiment direction is, sometimes that does help you decide whether you want to be net long or net short. Eric Mwathe, Mwathe.com. As always, good luck, peace and blessings. I am out. Mwah.